Welcome into UHCougars.com. I'm Jeremy Branham, play-by-play for Houston Cougar women's basketball. Introducing the new women's basketball head coach, Ron Hughey, joining us. And I know I speak for a lot of people whenever I say very excited to get you on campus, bring you into the fold here at the University of Houston. What's your excitement level joining the program?
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, just the honor of being here is just overwhelming. Like I told DeWanna, coming into this process, I thought I was the greatest person to have an opportunity to come here and be great just because I understand what the tradition has been here and want to get back to that.
Now, of course, all interview processes are challenging on both ends, the university, the coach as well. What was the process like? U of H courting you and you courting U of H?
It was grueling. It was really, really grueling. But, it's a gratifying process. The most important part I love about it was the opportunity to compete. It's the same thing I expect from the young ladies on the floor, everybody within the women's basketball program. The opportunity to compete, to get up there and show what I got and see who comes out on top.
I know a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about the University of Houston. It's in one of the biggest cities in America. What impressed you about the University of Houston?
First of all, being one of the Tier 1 institutions, one of the top institutions in the country in research, and all the wonderful things that are taking place here from the leadership of Mac and Hunter and DeWanna. I mean, just all the facility things and, just a great recruiting base here with all the players that you have here in Houston. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
I know there's already a group of girls hanging out that played here last year that are coming back next season that are very excited to play for you. And what's the message going to be to them whenever you talk to them? What are you going to tell the team?
We're going to figure it out. I'm going to let them talk, and I'm going to talk, and we're going to get on the right page. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is some accountability, some discipline, and we're going to follow along those lines.
Of course, every coach has a list of goals that they want to have. They have the immediate goals and the goals that they want to have in the future. What are yours?
I think first and foremost, we got to take care of the classroom. Our culture will start to speak for itself when we start to talk about, the accountability, the commitment to excellence and setting that standard of accountability every single day. So we'll start along those lines.
You already mentioned a couple of your philosophies. You want to have that student before athlete, get it done in the classroom whenever they're on the basketball floor. What's your philosophy with basketball, and what kind of style or should we see with your Houston Cougar women's basketball team?
The first thing we want, everybody talks about defending and rebounding and going fast. So once we get in a chance with my staff and we get in and evaluate everybody, and we'll see if the system will allow us to do that right now. But that's how we want to play. We want to get in people's face, and we want to have the opportunity to pressure them into mistakes, and we want to play fast. You
mentioned the staff, and that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you as well. That's so important to have the people that work with you, that work equally as hard, that you can count on as well. And what's that look like whenever you start to put your staff together? What are a couple characteristics that you want to have with your coaches underneath you?
Well, first and foremost is loyalty. You want people around you that support the same thing that you support. Secondly is vision. If everybody's not looking on the same page of what's expected in the program, and you have a problem. Third thing is commitment to excellence. I mean, it goes in every flow of every single thing that we will do. And then sacrifice. I mean, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of other things you can be doing, but will you make that sacrifice to do what needs to be done?
Now, of course, looking at your bio, looking at all the accolades that you have, you've put together a lot of great recruiting classes everywhere that you've been, Florida State, Texas, Rutgers, everywhere you've been, you put together a great recruiting class. How does your recruiting personally change whenever you're the head coach? How does it, how does that factor in? Having to wear a lot of hats, how does that change the recruiting plan for you?
It doesn't change at all. It actually makes it better. So now when I make a phone call, I'm the head coach speaking against another assistant. So I trump them.
I guess you kind of pull rank a little bit, don't you?
Exactly.
Now, you spent a couple of years in Austin at the University of Texas. I imagine that your connections in Texas are strong with a lot of high school coaches.
Very strong. I wish I could show you my phone right now. I have about 150 messages from Texas people right now.
A lot of people congratulating you?
A lot of people congratulating me.
Now, of course, you step into the American Conference, which just has the national champion, the UConn Huskies, who, of course, they've been able to put together an unbelievable program up there in Storrs, Connecticut. And you've coached at a lot of big places, Florida State, Texas, Rutgers. How does those stops help you as an assistant, being in those big conferences, joining another big conference in the American?
We definitely, being at those different places have definitely prepared me, and I think I have the framework just to start our young ladies on the path of establishing those kind of programs. I mean, when nothing gets bigger than Rutgers in Texas, when we're talking about it. And I mean, UConn's up there because they're winning right now, but again, those programs are dominant and prominent just because they've done it for a consistent amount of time.
I'm curious, what are a couple of mentors that you have, coaches that you've worked for, coaches that you've seen throughout your career? Who are some people that you look up to?
Well, you can start with the one that I just left, Sue Summerall. I mean, she's just absolutely fabulous. You know, the WBCA president right now, and you know, one of the things that I learned most from her is just, you know, they're a person, they're a student first. So you have to take care of that relationship, and then you start with Coach Gail Gueston, course, and her thing is being simplicity. I mean, in every aspect of the game. And Coach Vivian Stringer, who's a legend, and her thing is paying attention to detail. And once you start to put all those things intact, along with some of the men coaches that I actually have great relationship, Leonard Hamilton, Bill Self, Rick Barnes, and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, that's a laundry list of outstanding coaches. What have you learned from those coaches? Things that you've learned as an assistant that you think are going to help you as a head coach. This is your first stop as being a head coach.
Well, the first thing is take your time. Take a deep breath, blow it out, and let it all happen. Secondly is pay attention to detail, work on the fundamentals every day, and have an opportunity to embrace and love your kids. Take care of your kids, and they will take care of you.
Looking at your resume, you've made 6 straight NCAA tournaments as an assistant coach, and I know that that's the level that the University of Houston wants to get on as well. How has that helped you the last 6 seasons, being in that NCAA tournament, having that postseason experience under your belt? How is that going to help in your first stop as a head coach?
When you feel that fire, you want to exceed that. You want that every single year, and that's the same energy I'm gonna take to the court every day, knowingly that that's our aspiration to reach.
Now, I know that you're already hitting the ground running. You know, they throw you right to the wolves. You're already getting to work right away. What do the next few weeks look like, being taken over the job and, you know, having to go to work right away?
We're gonna sit down with Ms. Childs and Ms. Chiser, and then we'll go from there. But I definitely have a laundry list of things that we're gonna start on right now, and recruiting is at the top of it. We're going out this weekend and trying to evaluate the best talent, and start with some unofficial visits, and just work from there.
Well, I'll give you the final word. Any messages you want to send across?
Chasing greatness. Get ready for it.
All right. Thank you very much. Ron Hughey, the 7th women's basketball coach, University of Houston history. I'm Jeremy Branham. Thanks for tuning in to UHCougars.com.